Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to be going over some color changes you can incorporate into card tricks. Now in my last video I went over the call and I mentioned how I will be uploading some color changes. So that is what this video is going to be today. Now I don't have a set number on the number of color changes, but I do have a few in mind I will be going over. And before we get into the video, in case you're wondering about the deck, it is the Bicycle Dragon deck, which I actually have a review on, so make sure you check out that review. So without further ado, let's get into how these color changes look. So for the first color change, it looks like this. We can have a card selected, and I don't want to look at it. So here's your selection. Go ahead and remember that for me. Now I would take the card and place it somewhere in the middle of the deck, give or take. So let's say right there. So now I would snap my fingers and show the spectator their selection, the 5 of hearts. No, that's not your selection. Well, all I have to do is go 1, 2, 3. And it will be your selection, the 4 of hearts. Let's go over how this one is done. So this color change is fairly easy. If you don't know color changes, this should be one of the first color changes you learn. This is actually called the shake change. So let's get into how this is done. So starting off, you're going to have a card selected, and you want it controlled second from the top. So any way you want to do that, go ahead. So in this case, we have the Queen of Spades. All I did was a Marlowe tilt. Now I will be uploading a tutorial on the Marlowe tilt. It will probably be in my next video, just so I can get that out of the way. So all I did was when the card was being looked at, I just pushed off the top card slightly, and I put my pinky right underneath it and I pulled it back. When I did that, I got a break. If you're more advanced, you can do the pinky count, or you can riffle up. Now, if you want to, you could put the card on top, spread all of them out, and say, look, all the cards are face down. When you square back up, you're going to lift up this first face down card with your index finger, put your pinky in there, and then square up. That's another way to do it. So now you have like a double lift here, 2 cards back to back. Here is how you're going to do the move. So essentially, you're going to have your middle and ring finger on the corners with the pips or the endices, okay? This is the original way. I do it a little different, but this is how I did it in the performance. So you're going to have your middle finger on this top left corner and your thumb on the opposite diagonal corner. And all you're going to do is shake your hand. And when you shake your hand, your index finger is going to come over to this corner, and it's going to just pull the card in towards yourself, and it will turn 180 degrees. But there's a few things you want to do. Number 1, you don't want it to be a little shake like this, and then you turn it, because the spectator can see that. So you want it to be a big shake like this. The second thing, which I think is really important, when you do the move, you don't want your finger left here on the corner, okay? So when you do it, you want it lifted up, because if you do the move and you turn it, and you have your finger here, the spectator might think that you did something, but if you start off by showing them that your finger's like this, and then you shake it, and then when you're done, it's left in this position, it'll just create that image that your finger's in the same place as it was before. So you just want to make sure when you shake it, you turn it towards to yourself, and then when you're done shaking, or before you're done shaking actually, lift up your finger, then you can stop shaking. And then you can drop the card on top and show. Now, if you want to get rid of this card, you can do a one-handed cut, which I actually have a tutorial on. So make sure you check that out. So I said I do this a little differently, and how I do it differently is, well, how I just taught you, actually. So, you notice when you do it, it's very easy to just drop right on top. But the original way actually goes like this. So, opposite of the pips, and then when you turn it in, your hand is sort of sideways, and you have to readjust your hand and drop it. It's just a big mess. So what I would recommend doing is having it like this. You do the move, and then it's already lined up, so you can drop it on top. So that's the shake change. So you have it on either corner. It doesn't matter. If you want to, you could have your ring finger here, but I like my middle finger. But if you want to, you can use both of your fingers to turn it in, and then just make sure they're lifted back up. So you have it like this. You're going to shake your hand, and while you're shaking your hand, you're going to turn the card, lift up your finger, and then stop shaking, and then drop it on top. So it looks like this. So we have your Queen of Spades, and if we give it a shake, it turns into the Jack. So that was the first move. I hope you enjoyed that. Here's the second move. So the second move goes like this. You're going to have a card selected. Here's the card. We're going to put it somewhere into the deck. Maybe about there. And when I snap my fingers, one card should come on top. It should be your 10 of hearts. No, that's not your card. Well, watch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 turns into your Jack of Spades. Okay, here's the next move. Now, this move is a little knacky to get down. As you saw, I had a little bit of trouble there, but not too bad. So this move is called the Shapeshifter. So essentially, you're going to control the card. Get a lot of face cards today. You're going to control the card into the second position. Now, I don't believe I went over the Marlowe tilt the first time, so let me go over this, and then I'll make a video for it. So all you're going to do while they're looking at their card, they can even sign it, you're going to get a break. Now, any break you want to get is fine, but you're going to have to get it underneath the top card. So however you want to do that, go ahead. And then all I do is I just slowly move my thumb over a little, and you'll see this will pop up. And when it pops up, it's going to be flat or straight right across, okay? So it should be just like this. So imagine this in my hand. It should be like this. So you push off, you lift up, and you get it like this. Now, all I do is I take the card, I start poking out cards from the middle, okay? And it'll look like you're trying to put it somewhere in the middle. A little thing I added was I actually use my thumb, and I lift up half of the deck, but you want to make sure you don't lift up this one card. So if it's easier, you can just get the break and then lift it up. You don't have to get it flat right across. Okay, so once you have that, I lift it up, and I put the card right in the break. I drop it, and I hold everything like this, so you can see, and then I push it in. That will get it second from the top. Okay, so you're going to push over and pull back, or you can riffle up or do whatever you would like. But you're going to get your break, grab it, poke out some cards from the middle. Okay, and then I push those in and I lift up with my thumb. Now, if you'll notice, I'm holding on to that top card even though my pinky's still in there. So I'm going to put the card in, drop the break. My hand is still in the same position. I like to lower my hand down a little, and then I push it in. And then you can give it a dribble or whatever you would like. Now it's going to be second from the top. So then you can say, okay, your card is on top, the Queen of Spades. That's not their selection. So just like the first one, you're going to get 2-card break. So all I did was I just lifted up on 2 cards. Okay, but you can riffle up, you can push off and pull back, you can do your pinky count, anything you want. Now, here is the move. This is a little knacky, but just try to follow along here. You're going to take your right hand. If you're the opposite hand, just try to mirror the best you can. But you're going to put your right middle finger and right thumb on the corners opposite of the pips. And for your other hand, you're going to put your thumb and then your ring finger, okay? So your right hand will be your middle and thumb. Your left hand will be your thumb and ring finger. Thumb and ring finger goes on the corners of the pips. Your right hand goes on the corners opposite of the pips, so without the pips. And here's all you're doing. You're using your left hand, thumb and ring finger. You're pulling in the card like this, so you're going to bend into yourself, and then you're just going to let go with your fingers, and when you let go, it'll turn, okay? Like this. But you don't want to be holding the card really tight. So right here, I'm holding it really tight, and you see it stops halfway. That's no good. You want it loose, but not too loose. So 1, 2, 3, and just like that. Now, a good way to do this is when you you bend it back, you want to do it to the left and to yourself. So, like this. So, we know this is to myself and to the left. And you don't want your other fingers helping you. You just want your thumb and your ring finger. And it'll pop off. It's a little knacky, but if you practice it, it will work. I have trouble with it every now and then, but sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So it's one of those moves I don't do very often, but I thought I would do it for this video. So you're going to hold it like this, come over, and you're going to squeeze and then pop it to yourself and to the left. So like that. And then you can drop it on top. And then clean up with a one-handed cut or whatever. So that's the move. A little knacky, but go ahead and practice it. Here's the next move. And also for all these moves, or some of these moves, I will be teaching tricks that actually go with the moves. So you're not going to learn them for nothing. So here's your card. Go ahead and remember it. All we're going to do is put the card somewhere in the middle. Give it a few cuts. We'll shuffle it, and all I have to do, snap my fingers. One card comes to the top. Should be your Jack of Spades. That's not your card. Watch. If I go 1, 2, 3... it turns into your 8 of Spades. So that was the move. Let's get into how this is done. So this is called the Erdnase color change. This is going to be a little more difficult, but with practice you will get it. So there's a few things you're going to have to know for this. So you're going to get a card selected, in this case the 4 of diamonds. All you're going to do is you're going to control this card to the top. So any way you want to do that, go ahead. Now I have taught some card controls on my channel, so make sure you check those out. And I will probably make some more tutorials on some card controls anyway. But I did a double undercut, which I have a whole tutorial for, so check that out too. So essentially, you're going to take the card, and you're going to use your deck hand to lift up about half of the deck, and you're going to place the card in. Now you're going to come over with your thumb, push down and in on the card, and it'll get a break. you're going to be holding it like this. Now, your index finger, you can either have it curled in or you can have it to the side. It doesn't matter. You're going to come over with your other hand, use your pinky, either cut off half with your pinky or riffle off half with your thumb. But either way, you're going to grab those, place them on top, grab the rest and place those on top. And you have the 4 on top. Now you can do false cuts, false shuffles, anything you want to keep the card on top. After you have it on top, follow up with some shuffles or whatever, and then you're going to do a double lift. Now I have a whole tutorial on the double lift. But in case you don't know the double lift, here is my preferred double lift very quickly. So you're going to have the deck like this. So notice how my index finger is on top, middle, ring, pinky on the side, and thumb across the center. It's pretty deep in my hand. It's not elevated. You're going to use your thumb and push down. When you push down, you'll notice you'll create a little bevel. And this bevel is good enough. So I come in right in between my middle and ring here. I'm going to riffle up 2 cards. When I have 2 cards, this will take some practice, but with some practice, you will get it. Once you have 2 cards, I grab those with all my fingers, and I move my index and my thumb out of the way. I go over to the right, and I go up about halfway. And when I drop it, I hold it with my thumb. Okay, now, most of the time I don't. I let it drop, I use my index, go over to the right corner, push down, and when you push down, you'll notice this right corner down here with the pip will pop up. I place my pinky in there, I move my index finger to the top, I push down, and now I have an easy break. Then you come back in to where this break is, grab it with all your fingers, and turn it over. That is a double lift. So you come over, you grab, you show, and you do that. So you're doing a double lift. Now, when you do your double lift, you know you have 2 cards here. The spectator selection is here. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to come over and hold the deck like this. So notice how my index finger is straight out, and my middle, ring, and pinky are still on the right, my thumb's on the left. Gonna come over and you're gonna use right here, this top part of your hand and these bottom knuckles to slide that card up. When you do it, you want it about halfway, but your hand's gonna be covering this card. So like this. Then you're going to use the rest of your palm and hand here to slide out this card. When you do it, you're going to hear, feel, or both it pop or click out. Now, after that, you're going to be left like this. Obviously, you're not going to show this. You're then going to move your hand back up, and when your hand covers the top part of this card, you're going to use your index finger to push everything down. Extend your finger back out and move your hand out of the way. So essentially it looks like this. So here's the 4. Like that, okay? So let me go over that again. You hold it like this. You slide up. Remember, this slides back. You slide up again. Now you line it up, but it's okay because your fingers are covering it. Your index finger is going to push it down, straighten it back out, and move your hand out of the way to look like that. And when you do straighten it out, you don't want any of this seen. So let's say I did the move and I come back down. This looks bad. You don't want this. This looks even worse. Good, now, here's the top card, here's the second card, and especially if it's really bad and you happen to flash that top number there, which looks like a 4, that's not going to be good. So that is why under the cover of my hand, I do everything I need to. So I come over, I do the move, I do it, and I get everything all straightened up with the bottom part of my hand. And you want to watch your angles on this one because you don't want them to see that card. And you don't want them to hear that noise either. So it doesn't have to come out real far. But just make sure it's out far enough. And that was the Erdnase color change. Here is the last change I'm gonna do. Let's say you get a card selected and you remember it. So here's your card. I'll take it back, put it somewhere into the middle, and cut it up. Give it a cut, and let's see, your card is the 8 of Hearts. No, your card is not the 8 of Hearts. Well, watch. All I have to do is just put my hand over it and show you the Queen of Diamonds. Okay, so I know that wasn't my best performance, but here's how you're going to do it. I know I probably flashed too, but essentially here's how you're going to do it. I'm also going to show you that cleanup move I did. So you're going to get a card. Let's say you get the Jack of Hearts again. Going to control the Jack to the top. All I did was a one-handed cut, but before I closed it, I put my pinky in and I caught a break. Just a new way of me catching breaks. I have a tutorial on the one-handed cut too. But any way you want to or feel comfortable with, control this to the top. So I put it right in the middle, push down and in, and I put my pinky in. Instead of my thumb coming over and holding it, I put my pinky in. Now you're going to cut this into as many packets as you want, because this packet you're going to need to keep in the same orientation. So I cut 1, okay, I go to the half, 2, card is here, so if you cut it again you're going to lose that selection, and 3. And then I did a false cut, but do anything you would like. So I hold it like this, I do a swing cut, turn this horizontal, tap, drop, drop. So all together, that looks like this. So they have a selection. We know it's the Jack of Hearts. We put it in. We cut it up. And we cut the deck. And the Jack is right here. Okay. So now, what you're going to do is another double lift. Now, this is going to be different. You're not going to square up completely. What you're going to do is simple. You're going to need a break underneath it. So I lift up with my index, put my pinky in, and push down. But you want to break with all 3 of your fingers here. So you can come over with opposite of the right hand with my middle and thumb. I lift up in that corner. I put my fingers right underneath there. My thumb goes right across. Here is the exposed view. I'm going to push that card out, clip it in, and then put it on top. And that is the change. Now, I know I didn't do that good of a performance, but I'm going to try to teach it good. So it's a very light pressure. You don't need your thumb clamped right on. Okay, that's going to look weird if your hand is tense. You want it relaxed. You're going to use your fingers and pull out. But you don't want to pull out right in front of them because you'll flash the selection and you want them to think this is one card. So you're going to come over, and when you come over, you're going to do your pinky finger and your ring, this little space. This top corner is going to clip right in between there. Okay, so I come over, and when my hand is covering it, I just slide it out. Okay, so right here I'm about ready. I slide it out, and you're gonna clip it in between your middle and ring, and then your thumb is going to grab this bottom corner of the card, and you're gonna continue sliding your hand out. When you do that, you'll be left like this. Watch your angles on this one, because you don't want them to see this. Now, if you want, you can come over and just move your thumbnail slightly and straighten it out, but you don't want them to see this. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to come over and brush your hand across. And essentially, your index finger is going to be right over this first card here to stop it from going anymore. So when you do this, you're going to line it up, slide it up. Here's my index finger. And then you're going to slowly open up your pinky, turn your hand straight, and then slide it out. So it looks like this. Just like that. Make sure you practice that one. So like this, I come over, I grab it, and I do it. Now the cleanup move is easy. It's the KM move. I'll probably make a full tutorial on this too. But essentially, you know you have your break. So you're going to come over, I grab the double, and all I do is I'm about to turn it over, but I clip this corner with my middle ring and pinky. When I do that, it'll be held like this. And then you're just going to continue moving your hand out while holding the card. And you can use your thumb to flick it. Okay, so you have it like this. You come over, you clip it, and you slide it out and use your thumb to flick it. So all together, that's going to look like this. So you have your 6. I make sure it's all squared up. I do the move, and then I do the KM move. And that was the tutorial for today. So those are 4 easy, sort of easy, color changes. Let me know which one's your favorite, least favorite, which ones you use. And that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Marlowe tilt video. Bye.